Hey guys, welcome back to Cyber Platter. This is a video on threat hunting interview question and answers. So this is part one of this series. There'll be other parts including scenario-based questions. We will add them in the description box, the link to those videos as well, as and when we upload them. Let's go to the first question. What is threat hunting? So if you imagine your computer or an organization as a castle, threat hunting is like having guards who don't just wait for trouble but actively patrol to keep everything safe. So, threat hunting is like having digital detectives who actively search for any signs of trouble in computer systems. Like instead of waiting for alarms, these detectives look for potential threats to stop them before they can cause any harm. So, threat hunting is a proactive cybersecurity practice focused on actively searching for signs of malicious activities or threats within an organization's network and systems. So, in traditional cybersecurity approaches, we relied on automated detection tools and predefined rules. But in threat hunting, we rely mostly on human driven analysis, hypothesis testing, and the exploration of data to identify potential security threats that may go unnoticed by automated systems. Let's go to the next question. What is the importance of threat hunting in cybersecurity? Threat hunting helps organizations uncover sophisticated threats and APTs, that is advanced persistent threats, that may go unnoticed if you're using traditional security measures. Threat hunting helps us in reducing dwell time. Dwell time is the duration a threat remains undetected within a network. So, by actively seeking and responding to potential threats, threat hunting helps in reducing the dwell time. Threat hunting enhances incident response capabilities by identifying threats early. This allows for a quicker and more effective response to mitigate potential damage. So, if you're using automated security tools, right, they might not recognize unknown threats. But threat hunting involves human expertise to identify and analyze anomalies that automated systems may overlook. Continuous threat hunting contributes to an organization's overall security posture, by identifying weaknesses, vulnerabilities, and potential attack vectors that can be addressed to improve defenses. So, human analysts are involved in threat hunting, so they can provide contextual analysis, that is, by understanding the specific nuances of the organization's environment, which is crucial for accurate threat detection. Threat hunting adapts to the evolving threat landscape, by actively seeking new attack techniques, tactics, and procedures. This helps organizations stay ahead of emerging cyber threats. So, in threat hunting, rather than waiting for alerts or incidents to trigger a response, threat hunting takes a proactive stance by actively seeking out potential threats before they cause harm. So, all in all, threat hunting is a proactive and human centric approach to cybersecurity that plays a crucial role in identifying and mitigating potential threats, reducing response times, and enhancing the overall security posture of an organization. Let's go to the next question. How do you identify anomalous behavior or indicators of compromise during threat hunting? So, this process involves a combination of technical expertise, data analysis, and a deep understanding of the normal operating environment. First is establish a baseline. That is, you begin by understanding what is considered normal behavior within the network systems and applications. So you can establish a baseline by analyzing historical data and defining expected patterns of activity. And then you can leverage SIM systems, that is security information and event management systems or tools, to collect and analyze logs from various sources. These sources can be firewalls, IDS, IPS systems, endpoint security solutions, application logs, Windows logs, and you look for any deviations from the established baseline. Next is to implement behavioral analytics tools. These tools use machine learning algorithms to identify patterns of behavior. Actually, these tools can detect even subtle, deviations from normal activities, helping to pinpoint potential threats. Next, you can analyze network traffic patterns. This can include a volume, protocols, and communication between different hosts. Here, you can look for any sudden spikes, unusual protocols, or any unexpected connections. These usually indicate anomalous behavior. Next is endpoint detection and response data. So you analyze data from EDR solutions on endpoints. Here you can look for unusual processes, file modifications, or unexpected network connections on individual devices. These can indicate any signs of compromise. Next, you need to stay informed about the latest threat intelligence feeds. You can compare network activity against indicators of compromise, that is, IOCs reported in these feeds to identify potential matches. Then you can look at user access patterns, especially those of privileged accounts. So you are basically looking for any signs of compromised accounts. So you look for anomalies in login times, locations, or access to sensitive data. And then you can utilize heuristics and IARA rules to identify patterns in code or file structures that match known malware characteristics. And this can be especially helpful when analyzing files or processes for potential compromise. And then you can implement continuous monitoring processes to ensure that anomalous behavior is identified promptly. So threat hunting is an ongoing activity, and regular reviews of security data contribute to early detection. So by employing these key aspects, we can proactively address potential security threats within an organization's environment. Let's go to the next question. Can you walk me through your process of analyzing a suspicious file? So if a suspicious file is identified, right, the first step is to isolate it from the network or system to prevent potential harm. This may involve quarantining the file or even taking down the affected system offline. Next, examine the properties of the file. File properties can include file size, creation date, and modification history. So this information helps determine if the file is legitimate or potentially malicious. Then you identify the file type and analyze its structure. Like for example, inspect the file header to check if it matches the expected format. Anomalies in the file structure may indicate malicious intent. Then conduct static analysis. This is by examining the file's code or content without executing it. This involves using tools to analyze file metadata, strings, and embedded elements. Here, try to identify suspicious code patterns or known malicious indicators. After static analysis is dynamic analysis. Here, execute the file in a controlled environment such as maybe a sandbox. This is to observe its behavior. Monitor for any unusual activities such as file modifications, network connections, or attempts to communicate with external servers. And then you analyze the behavior of the file during execution. Identify any interactions with the operating system, registry, or other files. You basically look for signs of malicious intent, such as attempts to evade detection or privilege escalation. And then, if the suspicious file is associated with network activity, analyze the network traffic it generates. Examine communication patterns, destination IP addresses, and the use of specific protocols. This can then reveal potential command and control, that is C2 communications, and then calculate the cryptographic hash of the file and compare it against known malware hashes. Check for signatures or patterns associated with known threats in antivirus or threat intelligence databases. And then, if the file involves interaction with system memory, conduct memory analysis to identify any injected code, hooks, or anomalies in the runtime environment. Then extract any artifacts left by the suspicious file, such as registry entries, log files, or temporary files. These artifacts can provide additional insights into the file's impact on the system. So if you follow these steps, you can conduct a systematic analysis of suspicious files to identify any potential threats and take appropriate remediation actions. Next question is, can you walk me through your process for analyzing network traffic pattern? First is, using network monitoring tools, you need to capture and log network traffic. This includes packets, session data, and metadata related to communication between systems. Next, you compare the observed network traffic against established baselines for normal behavior. This is to identify any deviations or anomalies that may indicate suspicious activity. Then you analyze the protocols involved in the network traffic. Look for unusual usage patterns, non-standard ports, or unexpected protocol variations that may indicate malicious intent. Next, you inspect the payload of network packets. This is to identify any encoded or encrypted content. Decode these and analyze the payload to understand the nature of the communication. Next, examine the endpoints involved in the communication. You can check for patterns of communication with any known malicious IP addresses or domains. Identify any compromised endpoints within the network. Then analyze the flow of communication between systems. Look for sudden increases in traffic, irregular patterns, or connections to suspicious external entities. Next, create a timeline of the observed network traffic to understand the sequence of events. Identify when the suspicious activity started, its duration, and any associated events. And then you can integrate threat intelligence feeds to cross-reference observed traffic against known indicators of compromise. This is to identify any matches with threat intelligence databases. Next, analyze the behavior of the network traffic in the context of the broader environment. Understand how the observed patterns align with normal network behavior and whether they deviate significantly. Next, correlate the findings from network traffic analysis with other security data, like for example, logs from firewalls, IDS, IPS, that is intrusion detection and prevention system alerts, or endpoint data. So this will enhance the context and accuracy of threat detection. So these are basically the general steps to analyze network traffic patterns. Let's go to the next question. Describe the tools and technologies you have used for threat hunting. So I would have answered this question by saying I have extensively used SIM platforms, that is security information and event management systems, such as Splunk, Elasticstack, that includes Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana, and then ArcSight and Azure Sentinel for collecting, analyzing, and correlating logs from various sources. So SIM provides a centralized view of security events and aid in identifying anomalies. Then I utilized IDS, IPS systems, intrusion detection and prevention solutions, like for example Snort, to monitor and analyze network traffic for known and potential threats. These tools generate alerts based on predefined rules and signatures. Then I employed EDR solutions, endpoint detection and response solutions like CrowdStrike, Carbon Black to monitor endpoint activities. So these tools, EDR tools, provide insights into file modifications, process executions, and other endpoint related security events. Next, I may say that I leveraged network forensic tools such as Wireshark and TCP dump for in-depth packet level analysis. Actually, these tools are instrumental in understanding communication patterns, identifying anomalies, and investigating suspicious network activities. Then I used behavioral analytics platforms like Darktrace, Xbeam to detect deviations from normal behavior patterns. These tools employ machine learning algorithms to identify subtle indicators of compromise and anomalous activities. Then you can say that you integrated threat intelligence feeds into the threat hunting process. You subscribe to feeds from sources like OSINT, that is open source threat intelligence, and commercial threat intelligence providers to stay informed about the latest threats and indicators of compromise. Next, you can say that you incorporated vulnerability management tools like, for example, Nexus, Qualys to identify potential weaknesses in the infrastructure. So, analyzing these vulnerabilities helps in predicting potential attack vectors. Then you can say you implemented honeypots and deception technologies such as canary tokens to lure and detect attackers. So these decoy systems, right, they create fake assets. So when you interact with these fake assets, they trigger alerts. So it provides early warning of potential threats. Then you can say you developed and applied Yara rules for pattern matching in files and processes. Also, additionally, utilize threat hunting signatures to search for specific indicators of compromise within logs and data sources. Then you can say you integrated data visualization tools like, for example, Kibana, Grafana, Power BI, Tableau to create custom dashboards. So these tools assist in visually representing complex data sets, aiding in the identification of patterns and anomalies. Then you can say you implemented automation and orchestration tools like, for example, Demisto and Phantom to streamline response actions. These tools automate repetitive tasks, allowing for faster and more consistent incident response. Then you can say that you explore dedicated threat hunting platforms like, for example, Endgame, InfoSight Hunt, Red Canary, Hunters.ai, Carbon Black Cloud, Cyber Reason, Cynet 360, Elastic Security. So these tools often provide specialized features and workflows tailored for proactive threat hunting activities. So by combining these tools and technologies, you can establish a comprehensive threat hunting framework for a proactive and effective approach to cybersecurity. Next question. What is Hunt Evil framework? So Hunt Evil is a framework which is a proactive and structured approach to threat hunting that emphasizes actively seeking out potential threats within an organization's network and systems. Let's see some of the key components of Hunt Evil. First one, define objectives. So here you clearly define the goals and objectives of the threat hunting exercise. This could include identifying specific threats, validating security controls, or improving detection capabilities. Next is data collection. That is, collect relevant data from various sources such as logs, network traffic, and endpoint telemetry. This is basically gathering the necessary information for analysis. Next is hypothesis generation. So here you formulate hypothesis based on the collected data which happened here and the existing knowledge of potential threats. So these hypotheses serve as educated guesses about the presence of malicious activities. Next, analyze the data to test the formulated hypothesis. This step involves in-depth investigation into suspicious patterns, behaviors, or indicators of compromise. Next, validate the findings, and iterate the process. So, this ensures that the results are accurate and any false positives or negatives are addressed. This is an ongoing cycle of refinement. Next is document the entire process, including objectives, data sources, hypotheses, findings, and actions taken. Documentation is crucial for knowledge sharing, compliance, and continuous improvement. So, the Hunt Evil framework encourages a proactive mindset in cybersecurity. It urges professionals to actively search for potential threats rather than relying solely on reactive measures. Let's go to the next question. What is Diamond Model? This is a framework used in cybersecurity to analyze and visualize cyber threat activities. So, this helps security analysts understand and categorize various aspects of a cyber threat. It provides a structured way to dissect and interpret complex cyber incidents. So, Diamond Model consists of four main components. First one is adversary. This represents the threat actor or group responsible for the attack. This element focuses on understanding the motivation, capabilities, and attributes of the adversary. Another component is infrastructure. This includes tools, techniques, and infrastructure used by the adversary to conduct the attack. This includes both the physical and virtual resources employed during different stages of the cyber operation. Next one is capabilities. This describes the methods and capabilities employed by the adversary. It includes TTPs, that is tactics, techniques, and procedures used to achieve their objectives. So, understanding these capabilities is crucial for developing effective countermeasures. The next one is victim. So, this represents the target, entity, or system. So, this is the system or entity that is targeted by the adversary. This element involves analyzing the impact on the victim, the nature of the compromised assets, and the potential consequences of the cyber attack. So, diamond model visually represents these components in a diamond shaped diagram like this: adversary, infrastructure, capability, and victim. So, by examining and correlating information across these four dimensions, security analysts can gain a comprehensive understanding of the cyber threat landscape. So basically, what the diamond model is helping with is to answer critical questions such as who the adversary is, what tools are they using, how they operate, and who are their targets. This structured analysis enhances the ability to detect, respond to, and mitigate cyber threats effectively. So, Diamond model is particularly useful for proactive threat hunting, threat intelligence, and incident response. Next question: how do you stay updated on the latest threats and attack techniques? First, regularly follow some reputable security blogs and websites. So, these platforms often provide timely updates on the latest vulnerabilities, threat actors, and emerging attack techniques. Like, for example, the Hacker News, dark reading on Krebs on security, and then subscribe to threat intelligence feeds that provide real time information on current cyber threats. So, these feeds often include indicators of compromise, IOCs, and valuable insights into ongoing attacks. And then you can attend security conferences, webinars, and events. Like, for example, Black Hat, DEF CON, and RSA conference. These are excellent opportunities to learn about the latest research, threat landscapes, and defensive strategies. Next is participate in cybersecurity forums and online communities where professionals discuss and share information about recent incidents and threats. Platforms, for example, Reddit's are NetSec. Next, follow security experts, organizations, and cybersecurity influencers on social media and professional networks, like for example, LinkedIn, Twitter. Many of these professionals share insights, research findings, and news related to the evolving threat landscape. Next, read research papers and publications from security researchers, organizations, and institutions. Platforms like Archive and academic journals often publish cutting edge research on cybersecurity topics. Then you can utilize threat hunting platforms that integrate threat intelligence and provide real time updates on emerging threats. So, these platforms can enhance your understanding of current attack techniques. And then you can monitor security advisories and updates from software and hardware vendors. Vendors often release patches and advisories in response to discovered vulnerabilities. Then you can listen to cybersecurity podcasts where experts discuss the latest trends, incidents, and defensive strategies. So, actually, I find podcasts provide a convenient way for us to stay informed while on the go. Then you can join CERTs, that is computer emergency response teams, and ISACs, that is information sharing and analysis centers relevant to your industry. These organizations share threat intelligence and best practices among their members. Then you can enroll in training programs, webinars, and online courses to stay updated on evolving cybersecurity threats. You can get certifications which can help you with continuous education, and then you can engage in threat simulations and participate in CTF challenges, that is capture the flag challenges. These hands on experiences can provide practical insights into the latest attack techniques and defensive strategies. So, these are some of the strategies which can help cybersecurity professionals to maintain a comprehensive understanding of the threat landscape and adapt their defense mechanisms accordingly. Let's go to the next question. Are you familiar with any open source tools for threat hunting? Which ones have you used and for what purpose? So the first one is OS Query. So this allows you to query your devices for a wide range of information. So this facilitates endpoint visibility and threat hunting. It is particularly useful for monitoring and investigating suspicious activities on endpoints. Next, MISP, that is Malware Information Sharing Platform and Threat Sharing. So, this is an open source threat intelligence platform designed to improve the sharing of structured threat information. It helps organizations manage, share, and correlate indicators of compromise, IOCs, and other threat intelligence. Next is Saricata. This is an open source intrusion prevention and intrusion detection system that can be used for network security monitoring and threat detection. It is actually known for its high speed packet processing capabilities. Next is Elastic Stack, that is Elasticsearch, Logstash, Kibana. Elastic Stack is also known as Elk Stack. It is commonly used for log aggregation, analysis, and visualization. It can be configured for threat hunting by integrating various data sources and creating custom dashboards in Kibana. Next, Snot. It is a popular open source network intrusion detection system. It can be employed for real-time traffic analysis and packet logging. Next is Wireshark. This is a widely used open source packet analyzer. It allows security professionals to capture and analyze network traffic, making it useful for identifying abnormal patterns and potential security incidents. Next, Yara. This is a tool designed for identifying and classifying malware samples based on patterns and rules. It is often used in threat hunting to create custom signatures for detecting specific malware or malicious activities. Next is Bro, also known as Zeek. This is an open source network security monitoring framework. It provides detailed insights into network traffic, enabling threat hunters to analyze communication patterns and identify anomalies. Next one is Stenographer. This is an open source packet capture solution. This can be used for storing and indexing network traffic. It is useful for retrospective analysis and investigating incidents by capturing full packet data. Next one is Velociraptor. It is an open source endpoint visibility and digital forensics platform. It is designed to collect and analyze data from endpoints. It is very useful in threat hunting and incident response. So these are some of the open source tools that can be used for threat hunting. So that's it for today, guys. I will see you in the next video with scenario based threat hunting questions. I hope this video helped you to learn a little bit about threat hunting. If you did, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our videos. That helps us a lot. I will see you soon. Bye bye.